In the quiet corner of a forgotten street lived Arthur. His house, a silhouette against the setting sun, held stories within its dusty, silent walls. Every object, from the grandfather clock that had long ceased to chime to the faded photographs on the mantelpiece, was a ghost of a memory. The air was thick with the scent of old paper and stillness. For Arthur, each day was a mirror of the one before, a long, quiet hallway of solitude. He moved through his home like a shadow, the silence his only companion. The world outside seemed to buzz with a life he no longer felt part of. He'd watch from his window as seasons changed, as children's laughter echoed in the distance, feeling like a ship anchored in a harbor while the rest of the world sailed on. His world had become small, confined to the gray-toned rooms that held the echoes of a vibrant past, a past now muted by the passage of time and the absence of company. One golden afternoon, as the sun cast long shadows across the neighborhood, a new scent began to drift from Arthur's house. It was faint at first, a whisper of cinnamon and warm sugar weaving through the usual dusty air. This was no ordinary smell. It was a nostalgic aroma, the kind that pulls you back to a time you thought you'd forgotten. For Lily and Tom, two curious siblings playing hopscotch on the sidewalk, it was a mystery they had to solve. It smelled like Grandma's kitchen on a baking day, like holidays and happy secrets. Led by their noses and their shared sense of adventure, they tiptoed up the creaky steps of the old house. The scent grew stronger, a warm, inviting promise. With a shared look of determination, Lily raised her small hand and knocked on the weathered wooden door. A soft, hesitant knock that would ripple through the silence of Arthur's world. The door creaked open, revealing Arthur, his eyes surprised, as if he hadn't expected a visitor in years. He saw two small faces peering up at him, their expressions a mix of curiosity and shyness. "We smelled something delicious," Tom said, pointing a small finger towards the house. A flicker of something long dormant sparked in Arthur's eyes. It was an old family recipe, a simple apple cake he hadn't made in decades. Seeing their eager faces, an impulse took hold. "Would you like to help?" he asked, his voice a little rusty. The children nodded enthusiastically, and with that simple invitation, the spell of silence was broken. He led them into the kitchen, a room that had been a museum of disuse, but today it was about to be reborn. Arthur, moving with a newfound purpose, pulled out an old, flour-dusted recipe book. His hands, though wrinkled with age, moved with a familiar grace as he measured flour, cracked eggs, and sliced apples. Lily and Tom, perched on stools, watched in awe. Soon, their small hands were in the mix, kneading dough with a clumsy joy that sent puffs of flour into the sunlit air. The kitchen, once gray and lifeless, was now a canvas of creation. Flour dusted every surface, sticky fingerprints marked the counter, and the sound of giggling replaced the heavy silence. Close-ups would show Arthur's hands guiding theirs, the shared texture of the dough connecting generations. The sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating the dancing flour particles like tiny stars. For the first time in a very long time, a genuine, deep smile spread across Arthur's face. It reached his eyes, crinkling the corners, as he watched the children laugh, their faces smudged with flour. The aroma of baking apples and cinnamon filled the house, not just with a scent, but with warmth, with life, with a feeling of home. As the cake baked, filling the air with its sweet promise, a new sound joined the happy chaos, another knock at the door. It was Lily and Tom's parents, drawn by the same irresistible aroma and perhaps a little concern for their missing children. But what they found wasn't what they expected. They saw Arthur, his face alight, and their children, covered in flour and beaming with pride. In their hands, the parents carried bags of groceries, a planned dinner that now seemed destined for a different purpose. Seeing the scene, an idea sparked. Why don't we cook this all together? Lily's mom suggested. Arthur's eyes widened. The idea grew, spreading like wildfire. One phone call led to another. Soon, neighbors started arriving, carrying folding chairs, salads, and drinks. The small kitchen feast spilled out into Arthur's neglected backyard. The once overgrown lawn became a bustling picnic ground. String lights were hung from tree branches, casting a magical glow as dusk settled. The air, once still, now buzzed with conversations, with the clinking of plates, and with the joyous sounds of a community coming together. Children chased fireflies on the lawn while adults shared stories and food. At the center of it all was Arthur, no longer a lonely figure in a silent house. He was sharing slices of his apple cake, his recipe, his story. His backyard and his life were filled with people. The gray, isolated world had burst into vibrant color. A single act of kindness, a shared recipe, had turned a quiet street corner into a celebration of connection, proving that community, like the best recipes, is built on simple ingredients, a little sweetness, a lot of warmth, and the willingness to open your door. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that celebrates the beauty of human connection. See you next time.